Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Selena and today, as you see in the title, I'm going to be talking about pregnant during COVID-19 pandemic or the coronavirus. I wanted to make this video just to try to connect with some other mamas to be or some other moms that gave birth during coronavirus or are early in their pregnancy and stuff like that, just to talk about what to expect, how I planned during the pandemic, and some of the emotions that I was feeling during this time. I'm currently 35 weeks pregnant and coming up to my due date fairly soon. It's June 2nd today and my due date is July 7th, so just about a month to go. And my planning has changed drastically in the last 3 months, and prepping for a baby has been a lot different than I thought it would be with all of this going on. So just thought I would share my positives and negatives during this time. And if anybody else has any, leave it in the comments. And I'd love to chat with some other moms about being pregnant during this time. The best thing that has helped me get through being pregnant during this pandemic is just thinking about all the positives that have come out of it. And I know you're probably thinking, what can be positive about a pandemic like the COVID-19? And honestly, there's always positives if you find them, even in bad situations like this. So let's start with that. Number one is working from home. If there was no pandemic, I would be in the office. I work at a job downtown in my city, so I would be going into downtown every day to work up until I go on maternity leave, which was supposed to be June 12th. So currently I'm still working, but just working from home, which has honestly been the biggest lifesaver for me. In my first and second trimester, I was still in the office, and when you're not able to sleep properly, you're feeling nauseous, back aches, leg aches, you're just not sleeping well, and then you have to get up and go to work is just really tough. And any other moms, I guess, can attest to that as well. Having to go into work when you're not 100% is really tough. So being able to work from home has been the best situation for me. In my first and second trimester, I had really bad sciatic nerve pain, and obviously starting in my glute and shooting down my leg. And it was really tough when I was working Monday to Friday because I'd be sitting at a desk all day and it would just act up so much during the day, and then it would be really impossible for me to sleep because of it. So now working from home, I'm able to work in comfortable spaces like my dining room table or my couch or even sometimes my bed when I just don't feel like sitting straight up. So it's been really awesome on my body. And then the second positive about working from home is the ability to eat home-cooked meals during the day. So in my first and second trimester, when I was going into the office, I would be buying breakfast and lunch at my work. So I would be spending a lot more money on buying my meals, and I wasn't feeling well in my first trimester to really plan for what I was going to be eating at work the next day, so I wasn't able to meal prep just because the next day I find that I wasn't feeling good that day, so I just wanted to eat something like soup, but then I packed something else, and it was just really hard for me to plan what I wanted to eat, just depending on, because I wasn't sure how I was going to feel. But now, obviously, when I wake up, I could just make whatever I want at home, and for lunch too, I can make whatever I want. So that has been amazing for myself, working from home, and I definitely wouldn't have the option to work from home unless this happened. So that was definitely a huge positive. The second one is spending more time with my spouse. So me and my husband, we're working a lot of opposite shifts. He would be working nights and I would be working Monday to Friday in the morning, and he would be off during the week and I would be off on the weekends. So we were basically just chunking hours together to spend to get time together instead of having a full day together. We were very busy. Also with he's playing a lot of sports, and I had some other things going on after work, so it was really hard to get together and have a full day together just to even shop for the baby or plan things or have a date night, just because we never had one day fully off together. So it's been the biggest blessing to be able to spend every day now with him. He's home all the time. I'm always home, obviously, so we are able to get that quality time in together right before our little one comes along. So that has been the biggest blessing during this time. So the next positive that has come out of being pregnant during a pandemic is spending more time outdoors. We literally go on a walk once or even twice a day, and once maybe at lunch, and then once when I'm done working from home, which would probably not happen otherwise. I'm pretty active regularly, so I was working out in my first and second trimester. And I would usually work out at lunch, at work, or just at home, and he would be playing sports, so we would be working out separately. But now we're able to go on long walks together, and we honestly never really did that before, so it's been really nice to just keep some sort of exercise in my routine other than just staying at home all day. And then we also live in Canada, so it's finally summer-ish, so getting sun on my face is a lot nicer than even going to the gym or doing something like that. So number 4 for positives would be saving money on maternity clothes. I literally barely bought maternity clothes this pregnancy. I was planning on buying a bunch because a lot of my clothes were starting not to fit, mostly my work clothes. So I was planning on buying a bunch of work pants and shirts just to last me through until I'm due. And then obviously stuff for going out other than work. But since this pandemic happened, I didn't have to buy any work clothes. I've been working from home since mid-March. So I wasn't starting to show until April anyways, so I didn't have to move up any sizes until April. And so that has saved me a lot of money. I bought a couple things. I bought a couple dresses and a couple t-shirts to wear, so when I do go to my parents' house, or if I just go to the grocery store with my husband, I have something to wear. But other than that, I just didn't see it necessary to buy a lot of maternity clothes when I'm just at home. So I'm just wearing shorts all day and my husband's t-shirts pretty much. So, or just pajama shirts, just because I'm not really seeing anybody or anything like that. So that would be another positive of working from home during this pandemic. So saving a lot of money on work clothes for maternity wear. So moving on to pro number 5 would be getting things done in advance. So basically I had my nursery already done when I was 30 weeks, and my hospital bag is already packed and I'm at 35 weeks. Basically, we weren't quite sure when stores would be opening again to get all of the things that we needed, and we had to order everything online. So once we started on our lockdown, which was mid-March, we actually began to order a bunch of stuff online just because we weren't sure how long this would last. And then also the shipping times were all delayed because of the coronavirus. So we wanted to order things in advance just so we would get it before June. And then we would have the whole month of June just to relax and not think about what we had to get done, especially if things aren't open up yet. But now, actually, in Canada, we are in phase 1 of our relaunching plan. So majority of the stores are open, but not everything, obviously, and it is limited hours. And just to protect myself, I try not to go as much, so it's still easier for me to order things online instead. So that has been the fifth positive of this, is just getting things done in advance and then not having to do anything last moment. We're pretty much done everything, and if the baby comes tomorrow, then we are ready. So those were my positives of being pregnant during the COVID-19 pandemic. Obviously, there are major negatives as well, and I try not to think about them just for my own mental health, especially because this is my first baby and I did miss out on a lot of things that other first moms really do look forward to. But I try not to think about those things because I'm just happy that my baby is healthy and I was able to get pregnant. And everything is going well so far. So that's what I'm focusing on, and not the things that I'm missing out on. Obviously, it would have been nice to do those things, but it's just not very important when all this other stuff in the world is going on. But here's the negatives. Obviously, I'm going to mention them. Obviously, if you're pregnant, try not to focus on these just because they're not important and they're just extra stuff that would be going on if this wasn't happening in the world right now. So the first one was having to cancel our baby moon. We're big travelers, so right away I did book a baby moon. We were supposed to fly to Arizona, do a little bit of short hikes and just laying by the pool and stuff like that. And we were supposed to go in April, so obviously it was canceled because the border between Canada and the US, there was no traveling across the border. So that was canceled, and obviously we were really sad about that. But we will just plan a trip next year when everything calms down. The next one is baby showers. So I know that's like a huge thing for a lot of people, and everyone having to cancel their baby showers. For example, my work was going to put together a little baby shower, and obviously everyone's working from home, so we're not going to be doing that anymore. And then I did have a small baby shower recently, just because Canada did lift restrictions up a bit, so we are allowed to have 15 or less people in one indoor area. So I actually had about 10 people. It was just my parents and my siblings and a couple of my aunts came just to have a small baby shower. Under 10 people were there, so that was nice, a little surprise that my sister planned. But obviously it would have been nice to invite everybody that I wanted to and have everybody there and have a larger event, but obviously no big deal. I'm glad we got to do something, as long as some people aren't going to be doing anything, so I was really happy about that. So my third negative for being pregnant during this pandemic is just not being able to be pregnant, kind of, and like showing off my baby bump. And I know that's a little maybe egotistical or something like that, but this is my first pregnancy and I've never seen my body change like this before. So just having people see it, and I just feel like I'm having kind of like a secret pregnancy, just because nobody has really seen my baby bump except for my husband, obviously, and my immediate family, my parents and my siblings. So it's just that kind of just being pregnant and people coming up to you and saying, well, how far along are you, or something like that. Just missing out on those little niceties of being pregnant. Obviously, my husband does an amazing job of making me feel great every day, so I'm really happy that I have that support system, and I know not everybody has that during their pregnancy, so I'm definitely grateful. And that's not a huge thing, but it's just something that a little negative that I'll mention. The fourth thing is maternity photos. I was planning on having someone do maternity photos for me probably around this point, 35 to 37 weeks. So far, the people I've contacted are not opening until phase 2 of a relaunch in my city. So I'm just hoping that in the next 2 weeks, they are planning to do a phase 2, so hopefully I don't give birth before then, and I'm still trying to get some maternity photos in, just because it's just nice to have some of those photos, especially because I don't really have any photos, just because I've been in the house all day and I haven't been going anywhere to take photos. So I'm not sure if this will be my only pregnancy in my life, but if it is, I want some photos to look at and look back on and stuff like that. So hopefully we find out that photographers are opening up back for business soon, and then I can get some maternity photos. And the fifth thing, which was a huge thing for me actually, was my husband not being able to go to appointments with me. Right now I go every 2 weeks, but starting next week I'm going to be going on weekly appointments to my doctor, and he hasn't been able to go with me for the last 3 months. So I've been going on my own and just not having that support in the waiting room, or him in the room with me hearing what the doctor has to say, or having him being able to ask questions, and it's me just relaying information back to him after it's done, and he's not able to hear the heartbeat and stuff like that. So those things are really sad for me, that he doesn't get to experience that stuff, just because obviously I'm going through all the physical changes and stuff like that would makes it more real to him, and then him not being able to do that, it's just one less thing that makes him included in the pregnancy. So that was a huge thing, and that includes not being able to get ultrasounds as regularly as other people were able to. I wanted to get a 3D ultrasound around this time, just right before the baby comes, just to keep as a memento. And obviously all the 3D clinics are closed in my city right now, just because they're not a necessity. If your baby's healthy, then they don't give you any ultrasounds at the clinic, and you would have to pay for a 3D one, which is what we wanted to do. So I haven't gotten an ultrasound since I've been 19 weeks, when they did the anatomy check and the gender and stuff like that. So I haven't had an ultrasound in quite some time. So it's been a little bit hard for me dealing with that, but obviously no choice there. We'll be surprised on what the baby looks like when she comes along. And then to go along with that, obviously we're not able to get any prenatal courses. I wanted to do kind of a hospital maternity ward walkthrough at my hospital. They have those classes, and then they do a little prenatal class with you for a day, and obviously they don't have any of those, so we weren't able to get that done. I'm the first one in my family and my husband's family to have a baby, and in most of my friends, so I don't really have anyone to ask for advice or anything like that on giving birth or any postnatal care or anything like that. So I've just been watching online videos on YouTube, which have helped a little bit. There isn't a lot in Canada, but there were a few that I found. So most of that information should be similar to now. So hopefully that helps me a lot. And then lastly, the biggest thing is actually increasing of paranoia during this time. So with me, I think I have a really heightened paranoia in my pregnancy, just because this is my third pregnancy and I had 2 miscarriages back to back before I got pregnant with this healthy baby. So I had already a lot of anxiety going into it, just because of having 2 miscarriages. You have anxiety on a daily basis, and it's really hard to get through. So then now with the coronavirus, just being double paranoid about getting sick or something happening is just increased to the maximum, pretty much. And even though I'm far along in my pregnancy, I still have anxiety every day just from having those miscarriages that something might happen. So basically the paranoia is just the biggest thing for me, is the biggest negative, being pregnant during this time. It's just another thing that can go wrong during a pregnancy. So I'm thankful that everything is going well, and in my city here, we only had about 50 coronavirus cases as of last week, active cases. So out of 1 million people, that's pretty rare if you were to catch it. So that actually decreases my anxiety a lot, but I'm still have a lot of paranoia and anxiety. But obviously I'm 35 weeks, so I'm almost at the end. So yeah, those are my positives and negatives experiences that I've had during this COVID-19 pandemic, being pregnant. And obviously I wish that we weren't, everybody wasn't in this position, but you can't really change anything. And I always remind myself that I have a healthy baby girl on the way and nothing else matters. All the missed baby showers, pictures, prenatal classes shouldn't faze me, because the end result is being able to get pregnant and then carrying a healthy baby for 9 months and then giving birth to a healthy baby. And that's all I care about, and that's all I'm focused on at the moment. So I really do think that having 2 miscarriages back to back before this pregnancy has made me a stronger person, and it really helped myself get grounded on what's important in life. So those things were really blessings that helped me get through this pregnancy. So all in all, I'm very happy and excited for the next couple weeks to come. I hope all of you liked this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. And if there's any other mamas out there that are giving birth soon or just got pregnant and you're starting your pregnancy during this pandemic, or you have any questions, please leave a comment down in the comments and I would love to chat with you. We'll be doing some more pregnancy videos next week, including a nursery tour and a hospital bag video. Everything I bought from my nursery is pretty much bought online, so if you need some ideas, you could definitely check out that video once I make it. Also, if you want a notification, please make sure you subscribe to my channel by hitting the button, and I will see you all in my next video. Thanks, bye.